Bill McDowell of Casper asks, as a member of the Senate Banking Committee responsible for oversight of the banking and related financial services industry, what do you do, or what did you do over the past 6 years to prevent this financial crisis we find ourselves in?
Thank you, and I do want to thank Casper College and Casper Star and Channel 13 for doing this. On the Banking Committee, I started 5 years ago trying to get more regulation, more oversight over the GSEs, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We knew that they were in trouble, that they needed more help. We were able to get that out of committee. Unfortunately, it was on a party line vote. We were not able to bring it up on the floor. Every time that we negotiated to change what was done with GSEs, the government-sponsored entities, there were a bunch of social programs that were wanting to be thrown in. The social programs would have created problems and eventually did get into it. On the housing package that was passed last July, there were social programs that were thrown in that created extra cost. There was also a provision for Farmers Home Administration to take on $300 billion worth of debt. A third of that was supposed to be bad debt. That would be about $100 billion. So we put a tax on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Now, they were already in bad shape. So to put a tax on them really put their stock in the toilet. That's what was the real downfall there. And so what did we do then? We opened up the Treasury. So we've created a calamity that could have been avoided. I've suggested a number of different things that could have been done over the years. I've also suggested during the last 3 weeks a number of things that should be in any kind of a bailout bill. You'll find a version of them in there that says that the Secretary of the Treasury can approve those if he wants to. He can use them if he wants to. Now, when I asked him direct questions on it, he said, we don't need that, it won't help, it's too prescriptive. So I'm pretty sure that he's not going to use any of those things, even though they kind of appear in the bill. So I voted against that bill.
Mr. Rothfuss, your response.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank everyone also for coming out, and I'd like to thank Senator Enzi for joining me here to debate these topics. I think it's not necessarily what was done in the last 6 years, but a little bit before that. There was a lot of deregulation that brought us to the point where we're at today. In 1999, the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act repealed a 1933 act called the Glass-Steagall Act, which actually separated commercial banks from investment banks. And in doing so, they lowered a barrier that allowed a lot of higher risk activities to take place. So that was a deregulation step that was looked at as a way to modernize banking, but it actually took us back to sort of a pre-depression era approach to how banking would occur. As that was freed up, there was additional problems in 2000 when the Commodities Futures Modernization Act was passed, which prohibited any type of regulation on what are called derivatives, which include credit debt swaps, which were one of the key problems to our recent downfall. So it was a few years before, 6 years ago, that a lot of the problems occurred, but that deregulatory approach was something that Senator Enzi supported over the years, and I would point to that as a key.